Quay, Evening Reb, and to others. 5:26 on the West Coast time PM. It is the 3rd of September 2025. This is the diary of a griever named John Weaver, which is me. So, to the Church Without Walls congregation and to the good old Reverend at Trevor's and family. Let's talk, guys. A posting that you put out there, I'd already come across, and so had some of the other independents. And they weren't too happy about it, concerning about this nut job who was burning a Quran book. Now, as I was trying to explain on an earlier video, a question was popped up regarding proven wrong that Muslims are not evil. Okay? And I threw out the example concerning about Christianity. We use religion as an excuse. It doesn't matter which name we put it into. We use religion as an excuse because we are weak individuals and we will follow any lunatic out there who wants to just get his ego filled. I know what happened on 9/11, 2001. I was among many who watched it on the television. I wasn't in New York. I was on the West Coast going through my own crap. And yeah, I lost friends there too. Still hits me hard on it. But here's the thing. I don't blame Muslims for it. I could blame the individuals, but I don't blame the religion. I don't blame the upbringing. I blame the individuals who chose to do evil. We humans can choose to do good or evil, depending on our definition of good or evil. And yes, I was a teenager, a very young, budding teenager, seeing how one country got overrun by Islamic extremists in Iran who forced a government overthrow, a coup, who endangered lives for over a year trapped while negotiations were being made possible. And there was an election year at that time. We are talking between 1979 and 1980, where one president of the United States had only been one term because the rhetoric of an actor who had won the hearts and minds of California at that time and won the hearts and minds of others because he wasn't a famous actor. He became the president of the United States. We didn't know the guy was developing Alzheimer's during that time. But he did 2 terms. In the first term, he threatened to send military. And unfortunately, we had sent military prior. We had sent a rescue team. Didn't work out too well. But no, we had an actor who was going to be bluffing like crazy who was threatening to send hardware and bodies to invade Iran to get the hostages released. Bring them back alive. And maybe kill as many as they could in Iran. We had already been hosting the Iranian original government, the Shah of Iran and his family here, under protection. But Ronald Reagan was basically threatening war. We had never followed through. Hostages were released. And one of them had been making the rounds on the television shows, including the religious shows we had. But they were extremists. because they used their religion as an excuse, and still do to this day. But go back further, guys. Before we had Christ born, was there any religious extremism going on? Because it wasn't recorded in the Bible. Whatever was going on for religious extremism wasn't recorded in the Bible. And if it was out there, it wasn't recorded in the Bible. So how do we not know prior to Jesus that we actually had religious extremism between the cultures out there? And if there was, who's to blame on that one? But right after Christ died, Christ was teaching, even through his lessons, through his students, his disciples, of being a decent human being, basically. And a Roman occupation had lasted for hundreds of years prior and hundreds of years afterwards, but going through changes because of Christ's teachings and of other things. And during those days, when we actually had the Roman Empire shrinking and shrinking, we still had holy cities to be conquered. And those who were in the papacy and those who were running their own kingdoms in Western Europe decided they wanted Jerusalem. In the name of God and all that's holy, we will use the name God and smite our enemies. We did a lot of smiting in the Old Testament, but we sure as hell did a hell of a lot more in the Crusades. We had several of them, guys. We warred over a city of Jerusalem. Can I ask you guys something out there? What made Jerusalem holy? Mentioned in the Bible, that's it. There had to be something special about Jerusalem a long time ago, before it was mentioned in the Bible. We could have warred over Nazareth. Could have. Turned it into a parking lot. What makes Jerusalem, Jerusalem? What makes that particular city more holier than anything else? Our teachings. Both the Quran and the Bible. They both look at it as they would, as the Muslim and the Hindus. Well, basically Muslims will look at Mecca as a holy place. Okay, so how come the Crusades didn't turn that place into a parking lot? How come the Christians, or those who are following the Christ faith, didn't turn that place into a parking lot in the Crusades? No, they focused on Jerusalem. So tell me, what's evil? We warred over a city many times. We didn't war over Mecca. Why? Why not war over Mecca? Turn the place into a parking lot. Into a nice, gigantic hill. Used it for a base. We didn't. And they still war over Jerusalem. One way or another. Without using bombs, but give them time. That's considered holy. Why? Jewish, Christian, Muslim, all look at it as holy. Hold it in standing. The physical stones. It's not the people. That would be my dog. It's alright, honey. Hey, it's alright. It's alright, sweetheart. Someone asked, prove them wrong concerning about Muslims being bad. Were they bad? Were they all bad? Are they considered all bad? Whoever studies the Quran is all bad? Then I suppose and propose this. Whoever studies the Christian Bible and the Torah are bad and evil. Except we had massacres of both sides, didn't we? In human history, it doesn't matter which religion, we have massacres over it. The Roman Empire could not stand the Christian Empire. Why? Did I say Christian Empire? There were stragglers. There were small groups who followed the teachings of Jesus Christ through voice after voice after voice, through person after person after person. Somebody want to tell me, why is Christians considered bad to the Roman Empire? The Roman Empire was an established army. Army of thugs. Ruled by schmuck out in Rome and Italy. Same landscape as Mussolini. You tell me what's bad. But at least Mussolini wasn't invading other places. No, he just turned his own place into an encampment. But we have to be rotten to the Muslim. Why? Because they're evil? Said before, not all of them are evil. The ones who bastardized the Quran into a weapon. The ones who use fear, intimidation, propaganda, feed their own damn egos, and they're still doing it to this day. Doesn't matter which particular country, they're still feeding it. Because they think that God is coming down to punish people. Well, God's going to punish us all one way or another. But we have said that they are also good people. I know some are going to say, why? Look what happened on 9/11. Yeah, I'm blaming the individuals. I'm not blaming the entire religion. You want me to blame the country for this one? Was a country attacking our country? Or was it individuals? We had a lunatic bomber, a Saudi Arabian, bounced from place to place. Surely you heard the name. Osama bin Laden. And he terrorized us. Not a country, him. And his bastardized followers. I don't hold the Quran in contempt. I don't hold the Holy Bible in contempt. I hold humanity in contempt. We choose to have this shit happen to us. Because we allowed such followers to happen. We follow a lot of fear, a lot of grifting out of us. And it's not just pocket change out of us. They want to dominate everything we have. To control, to dominate, to install fear, to make them more secure in their own insanity, their own ego-driven minds. My observations, my thoughts on these things. Any reactions from people, too. Christians are just as evil as everybody else. Because now we have a religion trying to form in a government system. That people think that Christianity is going to save them by drawing blood. Christian nationalists. If you're saying we're following Christ, think again. Perhaps you are too blind, too deaf, and too mute. You're worse than the three monkeys. You tell me which religion was absolutely faithful. And I'll tell you, no, we got dominance. Maybe following Buddha would have been better. At least his followers weren't going out there trying to slay people in the name of dirt. location, theology, just to prove their pile of dirt was better than everybody else's. So what makes our holy places that special? You tell me. You probably consider I'm an atheist. No, not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. Now, Reverend Ed has been getting my videos. He knows my viewpoints. He knows about my political and religious viewpoints. So I'm challenging those who question. And it all stems from burning the Quran. How would you feel if somebody burned the Bible? Or the Torah? You can talk about that to the survivors or children of survivors of the Holocaust of World War II. You can talk to the museum directors of those museum of tolerances out there. We have them out here in Los Angeles. And we have temples. And how did they feel when the Bible or even the Torah was burned? They didn't try to pick on the Christians. They picked on the religious. Actually, they picked on the Jewish and Muslims. And if you're black. Germany, at that time, Nazi Germany, was fanatical just like we are right now. We had created concentration camps, or in the process of them, until the judges out here in the States said no. And with a lot of legal words, said it ain't happening because it's illegal and you're torturing people and it's not right. Plus the fact you didn't do any environmental studies out in Florida and you harmed wildlife out there. So as quickly as it's put up, quickly it's been put down. But we still have physical places in the name of the Trump, which became a religion to a lot of people, because they're called the Christian nationalists. You tell me which religion is worse. We didn't blow up. We confiscated people, trapped them inside, tortured the living crap out of them, and then put them on planes. Sent them out until judges said no. And we're all waiting for the Supreme Court to make the decisions whether or not if Trump's actions are legal or not. But you tell me, which religion is worse? We have made it into a humanitarian crisis here in our states. All in the name of religion. Christian nationalists. Throw out the nationalists. Are we any better? Who am I to judge? No, I observe. You guys are doing all the work. You guys are making all the mistakes, all the accusations, finger pointing left and right. I just point out a few things that I've learned along the way. Is it right for a Christian to deny food and water to a prisoner? To take him off the streets away from his family? To send him to a faraway country, never to be seen again? Is that right? Is it right to send sick people to other countries in the name of religion? Is it right to torture by denying food, water, sanitation in a place so hot and humid nobody would live in? And yet we would blame others, and we would deny other services to other people who have died and still dying from not natural causes, but from nature. They'll call it political. No, they still call it Christian nationalists. Christ's way of blaming us and condemning us. Is that what they're saying on the line? I thought Christ was supposed to be full of love. Yet Muslims are bad. And burning the Quran is good. Because according to a hopeful for the Texas representative community, wants to prove that she is a Christian nationalist. And she hates Muslims. And she burns holy texts to do so. She loves Christ so much, she hates. She loves humanity, she hates. You tell me. You show me where it says in the Bible we are supposed to hate each other. Except maybe in a reverse Bible created out of hell. Call me a hypocrite. I'll say prove it. Because the only proof I'll have is between me and God and Jesus at this point. He judges us by our intentions, our hearts, and our works. He has his own criteria. And I answer to him, not to you.